If I have a fund that's going to give me the same returns as the S&P 500, then I want the lowest expense ratio possible. Welcome back to the episode, family. Afro Senpai here. Today we are talking about the bamboozling that's been happening for what must be like centuries. I don't know how companies are still getting away with this, but they still are. If you are the slightest bit interested in keeping more of your money, then you gotta watch this video. So imagine you go into Walmart and pick up a video game for $59.99. You take it home, play it, you like it, and then you're on your phone that night. And because our phones are listening to us, your phone sends you an ad on Amazon for the same exact game for $39.99. You're gonna be like, bruh, I just wasted $20. Same exact game. Same exact game. If you were getting cheated out of $20, you'd be pissed and you want to slap somebody. This is exactly what's happening in most retirement accounts. And I need us to understand what we can do about that. So, randomly guessing, 9 out of 10 retirement accounts fall into 3 simple categories. The first most typical retirement plan is all of the major companies of the United States. It's basically copying the S&P 500. The second most typical retirement plan is a 70-30 stock to bond ratio for diversity. The last most typical retirement plan is a mix of stocks and bonds and other asset classes based off of when you plan to retire. The further you are away from retirement, the more stocks you're going to have. The closer you are, the more less volatile asset classes you will have. So how does what we're talking about relate to the video game scenario that I was talking about earlier? Okay, so if I buy at Walmart, it was $59.99, and if it's at Amazon, it's $39.99. It's the same game. If I have $10,000 in an old retirement account and it's going to earn 7 to 10% because it's set up as a typical retirement account, I'm going to get the same 7 to 10% if I have it in my own traditional IRA rollover, because I too can buy into ETFs like VTI or VOO that cover the entire market. But chances are, if I keep my old money where it is, they have a higher expense ratio than me putting it into my own account. So I'm going to get the same results no matter who I go with. One deal is just obviously better. This is what it looks like over time if you leave your money in an account that has a high expense ratio. While having an expense ratio when only 10 grand is in the account isn't much of a big deal, when your account grows to 100, 300, 500K, then those expense ratios start to hit you hard. Call up the companies that hold your old retirement accounts. Ask them what the expense ratio is on the funds. Or if you're still mailed statements, just look at the fund's ticker symbol, Google what that ticker symbol is, and find the expense ratio that way. And if you see a high expense ratio of like 0.5, 0.75, and the only thing in the portfolio is S&P 500 type companies, transfer your money over into one of the 3 fiduciaries and save money on the expense ratio. You may have seen that I have ETFs like ARK in my account, which has a 0.75% expense ratio. Here's the other thing you need to consider. ARK outperforms the S&P 500, and I believe that it will continue to do so. I talked about this in this episode over here. I'm willing to hold a fund that has a higher expense ratio if I'm going to get 2x, 3x, 10x on my returns versus the S&P 500. If I have a fund that's going to give me the same returns as the S&P 500, then I want the lowest expense ratio possible. At the end of the day, and you can leave a comment for me, all I'm asking is, if you're going to get the same returns by doing it on your own versus having a company do it for you, wouldn't you want to pay the lower amount in the long run? All right, folks, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you learned something. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, feel free to like, subscribe, and comment below, as it helps the channel and this family grow. And until the next one, remember to smile because you are beautiful.